Hi, my name is Jamie Speck. Welcome to my exhibition, Hausfrau Collections, Routine, Ritual, and Magic. This exhibition is about identity, it's about memory, and it's about time, and unfortunately, it's also about consumer waste. I'm originally from a small town, near a small town, LaGrange, Texas, which is between Austin and Houston. My husband, John, and I have been married for 21 years now, and we moved to Rockport, which is a small town just outside of Corpus Christi, about 11 years ago. We moved here for his job, which is in public school administration, and we've been here ever since. During the last 3.5 years, I've been attending Texas A&M Corpus Christi and trying to finish working on finishing my Master of Fine Arts, which is a terminal studio degree. And the show is a culmination of my exhibition for my thesis. So I've always considered myself an artist. Actually, my earliest memories are creating and making. My mom had what we called a junk drawer in the kitchen. It was just full of odds and ends and broken pieces, rubber bands, paper clips, that type of thing. And so my memories are constructing things out of the junk drawer, putting things together. I consider myself a maker. I like to just make, and I'm very inspired by the materials that I find, as well as my environment. So I think probably when I was 3 or 4, there was a magazine that I subscribed to, a children's magazine, and I asked my mom if she would send in one of my drawings, and the magazine published it. And like right then and there, I knew that I wanted to do art or to study art. And I had similar experiences in school too, with like art contests, which really helped give me the confidence when I would win awards, and it helped my peers recognize me as an artist. And so I have felt like an artist since a very young age. The materials I choose to work with are collections that I have garnered from home, from my experience as a housewife. Tea bags. My morning ritual cup of tea is very important to me as a mother for my personal time, but also as an artist. Is time that I gather my thoughts and I think of ideas. Most things that people would throw away are items that I use in this body of work. So the tea bags I collect, I dry them. It's a process. I dry them, I wrap them, I dip them or submerge them into beeswax. And then I weave the tea bags together. And in this example, I've created a gown using the tea bags. For this dress, I used dryer sheets that I had collected from my family's laundry, and I do a lot of laundry. You'll notice that there's subtle color shifts, the light pinks, the blues, and the different whites. Those occur naturally through the drying process. So when the dyes from the clothes leached into the dryer sheets, they collected these hues. I started working from the top, and I have never made dresses before, so this was a learning experience for me. But I started from the top with the bodice, and I worked my way down. I would experiment with the materials, with the dryer sheets, to see what they were capable of doing. And once I found what I call a recipe for manipulating the dryer sheet, I would make a note of it in my sketchbook, and then I could always come back to it and repeat it. The wall hanging behind the dress is titled Washed and Protected. This piece was made using felt rectangles that I dipped in beeswax, and then also probiotic packs, the blister packs that come with children's probiotics. I collect those after my daughter takes the probiotic, and they're hand stitched to each single felt beeswax piece. That's for the pink colored wall hangings. And then the silver wall hanging that hangs in between them is made using dishwashing tab wrappers. I like the silvery, crinkly packaging from the dishwashing tabs, And so I took those and I kind of put them together. I didn't use a sewing method for these. I had to use more of a stapling method with aluminum foil, but I think that it works nicely with the other probiotic packs. The title of my show, Hausfrau Collections, references my German and Sorbian heritage. My grandmother's, on my father's side, my grandmother is German, well actually the whole family, and on my mother's side they're Sorbian, which is also referred to as Windish. And the Windish, although they wanted to find a place in Texas to speak their own language when they were coming from Germany, they were still integrated into the German culture when they settled here. So both families spoke fluent German. I myself do not speak fluent German, but I grew up around it. My grandmothers were traditional Hausfraus or housewives for a living. That's what they did. And they spent a lot of time raising me while my parents both worked. So this exhibition is really dedicated in memory of my grandmothers, but it also describes what I do because I fill many roles. I teach part-time online for Blinn College, but I'm also a mom to 3 kids, and I've been at home for the last probably 15 or 16 years playing the Hausfrau part. So it's a description of my identity, Hausfrau, but it also relates to my heritage and the way that I grew up and some of the nostalgic things that I remember about being a child growing up in the culture. As an artist, I'm very inspired by my environment and things that I see around me. So if you've ever seen any of my painted landscapes, I'm inspired by my view outside. For this exhibition, I'm actually inspired by what I've witnessed and what I do every day inside. For instance, in this piece, if you look at the background, those are can lids, like food can lids, which most people would throw away and consider trash. I began collecting them. So every time I opened a can of food from our pantry, from our family meals together, I would keep the can lids, and they really become this beautiful, almost starry installation. So I'm inspired by what some people would consider trash, but I'm really attracted to sparkly things, shiny things. There's something about them that get my attention. I'm very drawn to texture and color. Those are 2 elements that really inspire me in my work. As an artist, I was trained formally in painting and drawing, but sewing is something that has remained precious to me. It's part of the ritual in my art making practice. My grandmother sewed. It was something that I witnessed growing up. So when I began to have my own family, and it was really also about being practical, because painting something that's messy, it's a little bit more difficult to clean up, to stop and start. So for practical reasons, I could pack up the sewing, I could take it places, I could more easily start and stop. And for this show, this is the first time I've really just broken out of the painting mode and started sewing. And it's something I think I will continue doing for a very long time.